Today we're going to take a look at the latest new 2024 and 2025 motorcycle news that was just released by Honda at EICMA. We've got everything from adventure motorcycle news, sport bikes, scooters, naked street fighters, e-clutches, and everything in between. But with that being said, let us begin. First up, we'll start with the new 2024 Honda CBR 500R, where we've got some new styling changes to bring it more in line with its big brother, the CBR 1000 RRR Fireblade, but it doesn't stop there with new plastics and lighting, as we've also got some mechanical updates. Thanks to the addition of HSTC, which stands for Honda Selectable Torque Control, or in layman's terms, traction control. And thankfully, you won't have to stare at that old gauge display when making those electronic adjustments now, as you have a new 5-inch TFT display with Honda's Road Sync system for navigation and other smartphone functions. The engine's power output does remain the same though. But they did make some tuning tweaks to supposedly improve its power delivery, so we'll see how that pans out. All in all though, I think these updates are moving the CBR 500R in the right direction, but what do you guys think? Honda does pay attention to these videos, so let your voices be heard down in the comments section, and let's talk about it all. Next up, let's move over to its sibling and what used to be called the CB500X, but is now dubbed the 2024 Honda NX 500. And thankfully, just like with the CBR 500R, there's more than just styling changes with new plastics and lighting. Yes, its horsepower and torque numbers stayed the same, however, it sees new ECU tuning changes with HSTC being thrown in there as well as the new 5-inch TFT display, but it also had some weight shaved off. Thanks to these new wheels that help to shave off 3.3 pounds of unsprung weight, which is always a big deal in the grand scheme of things. And to top it off, you get one more color option to choose from over its CBR counterpoint, followed up by the last of the 500 model lineup trio with the new 2024 Honda CB500 Hornet, more commonly known as the CB500F, but it looks like Honda is wanting to do a little rebranding here too, with the recent introductions of the new CB750 and CB1000 Hornet models. And if you've been following along here, you probably get where we're going with the 2024 CB500 getting some new styling updates thrown its way with new plastics and lighting, while the chassis and engine stay the same, minus some tuning changes within the ECU and the addition of Honda's Selectable Torque Control system with the new 5-inch TFT display to help keep tabs on everything. Then, to finish it up, you've got 3 different colors to choose from on the 2024 CB500 Hornet, which then ties us into its big brother with the new 2024 Honda CB1000 Hornet. This new model introduction is using the 2017 CBR 1000 RR engine, but before you get too excited, it's been detuned heavily.
Wait, what?
Yep, but how much you ask? Well, sadly, I don't know exactly just yet, as Honda is just saying over 110 kilowatt peak power and more than 100 newton meters of torque. So apparently,
It's a secret.
but I guess we really can't be surprised here if you look at Honda's track record on that front. It's going to be super interesting to see how this thing is accepted though, and with the stack segment this is in, if they're not shooting for high horsepower, pricing is going to be key if they want this thing to be successful, in my opinion. As personally, there's nothing about this bike that really gets me excited, but we're all different, so what do you guys think? Next up, we've got the 2024 Honda CB650R making a return, and with some super interesting news behind it, thanks to the all-new E-clutch. Before we dive into that crazy new E-clutch though, let's take a closer look at the bike itself, as Honda threw some new design changes at it, all the way from the front to the back. Obviously, styling is very subjective, but I think they did a pretty good job on what was already a good looking bike, and thank God they haven't ditched that 4-cylinder power plant. Well, I mean, I would have liked to have seen them touch it when it comes to a performance increase, but its performance numbers are carried over from last year. And other changes come in the way of a new 5-inch TFT display to help you keep tabs on everything, and of course, it offers up Honda's Road Sync connectivity, as well as new switches to help control control it all. Now, to the whole e-clutch thing. What is it? Well, it's an option when buying new, and before you ask, the price increase for said option hasn't been released at the time of making this, but back on topic, it's a system that takes some of the performance elements and tech from quick shifters, manually operated clutches, and Honda's dual clutch transmission technology and blends it all together for an entirely new experience while riding. On e-clutch models, the clutch and transmission hardware are no different than a conventional motorcycle, and adding this compact system only tacks on another 4.4 pounds to the bike. And with this option, you can turn it on and off and use the clutch like you normally would, or don't worry about using the clutch and take off as well as change gears without ever touching the clutch. It's entirely up to you. Plus, you can fine-tune the amount of force needed on the shift lever when changing gears, and it can be set up independently between up and down shifts. Now, is it for everyone? No. Definitely not, but it's going to be a huge asset for a lot of riders, and even though it's only available right now on the 2024 CB650R and CBR 650R, I think this is going to trickle down to a lot of other bikes in the future. And we could do a deep dive into this a lot more, as there are a lot of details behind it all, but we'll save that for a video that's coming very soon. But I'm curious, what are your initial thoughts on it? And that ties us into the new 2024 Honda CBR 650R, where just like its other CBR siblings, it sees some new styling updates from the front to the back to better mimic the big dog Fireblade CBR. Sadly, there's no performance increase here, as the chassis and engine are recycled from last year, just like with the CB650R, and it also sees a new TFT display with the new switchgear to help control it all. And like I mentioned earlier, the CBR 650R is one of the first two new models to bring Honda's new e-clutch technology to market. Next up, we've got the new 2024 Honda CBR 600RR. Yes, we finally see the Japan spec CBR 600RR that was originally unveiled back in 2020, released to other corners around the world, instead of the old model that's been on sale to this day, or in some cases around the world, it just wasn't sold at all. Now, it would take 30 minutes to go over all of the changes from the last gen to this one, but in short, it's making more horsepower now and has a full electronics package, among many other updates from the front to the back. And as someone that's owned and tracked every generation of the CBR 600RR, I would have liked to have seen a bit more, but in a day and age where inline 4 supersport bikes are getting the axe left and right, I'll keep my trap shut. Followed up by the newly updated Mac Daddy 2024 Honda CBR 1000 RRR Fireblade, where its engine sees countless updates to deliver even stronger mid-range acceleration, as well as quote-unquote huge top-end power, thanks to the cylinder head, compression ratio, valve timing, and springs being revised with a lighter crankshaft and rods. Now, when reading the spec sheet, horsepower and torque stay the same, but they come in 500 RPM earlier in the power band. So technically, no increase shown there, but it's not like 215 horsepower isn't enough to blow your mind for the few people that can afford this mind-blowing piece of technology on two wheels. And help you manage all of that power, the frame also saw some changes to help improve handling while also changing the rider's positioning, and thanks to the new winglets, they were able to maintain downforce but with 10% less yaw movement and cornering. That's just the tip of the iceberg though, as there are so many little changes here and there that we could spend 20 minutes on it alone, so we'll save that for another video. And if your wallet wasn't already hurting enough from looking at this thing, we've got the limited production 2024 CBR 1000 RRR Fireblade SP, where you take the model we just talked about and crack that wallet open a bit more for the latest and high-tech electronically adjustable Öhlins suspension, Brembo brakes, and more, making this the baddest and fastest street-legal production motorcycle to ever roll off Honda's production line. Next up, we've got the Honda SC E concept that's supposed to hit dealers by 2025. Sadly, since it's considered a concept, we don't have much to go off of when it comes to range and so on, but we know it's utilizing two of Honda's mobile power pack batteries, unlike the Honda EM1E electric scooter with only one battery that's on sale today. And while it's not a motorcycle or scooter, it's electric and released right before EICMA, and I'm curious what you guys think about the new electric bicycle that Honda unveiled. It's dubbed the E-MTB due to it being a mountain bike and only a concept at the moment, but as we've talked about in past videos with Honda and electric bicycles, this is only the beginning of what's to come. And that's the latest news from Honda. What do you guys think about it all? And what models, colors, and so on are you hoping to see released in the USA or the country you're watching from? American Honda has some new motorcycle announcements that I'll be able to spill the beans on very soon, so make sure to hit that subscribe button below and let's talk about it all down in the comments section. But on that note, thanks for watching, and a big thank you to our supporters for helping to keep this train chugging along, and we'll see you guys in the next one.